Welcome to Do Beautiful Things. I'm your host, Jenny Larson, President and CEO of Keep America Beautiful. In this podcast, we'll discuss ending litter, the truth behind recycling, and making communities beautiful for people and for a more sustainable future. We'll be talking to industry experts, community leaders, and everyday people who want to do the right thing, including from time to time, my mother. Thank you for joining us. I hope you learned something, and I know I will. Welcome to Do Beautiful Things. Thanks so much for joining us today. Every spring, approximately 20,000 communities nationwide unite for the Great American Cleanup. This 3-month initiative that runs from the first day of spring to the first day of summer, a flagship program of Keep America Beautiful, and encourages individuals and communities to come together to clean and beautify the places where we live. In 2023, over 300,000 volunteers participated in community-led events across the country. As a result, more than 10 million pounds of litter and debris were collected, nearly 2,000 miles of waterways were cleaned, and 6,257 trees were planted. Today's episode will focus on the Great American Cleanup theme. Our guest will discuss the significance of maintaining clean communities and share how his company is dedicated to fostering litter-free and sustainable environments with today's latest technologies. Let's give a warm welcome to Eamon Israfil, CEO and co-founder of Rubbish, a mobile platform that brings people together to create litter-free, happy, and healthy communities. Eamon, hey, how are you?
Hey, Jenny, doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I'm really glad you had the time for us today, because I think what you are imagining and the resources that you're starting to bring to questions of how to build cleaner communities and the role that people can play and the role that technology plays is really interesting. So I thought we might start today's conversation kind of at the beginning of your journey. I specifically didn't do much of an intro because you've got a great story about how Rubbish came to be and kind of where you're going today. So maybe if you can help us start at the beginning.
Right on. Happy to help. Well, at the beginning, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and I grew up with a love of programming. I've been programming since the age of 10, started with like Flash video games and a little program called ZZT. And that's been a lifelong hobby of mine. And then I went to college. I decided I didn't want to be in front of computers. I studied molecular biology and genetics. Finished college and realized I don't think I want to do that either. So after a couple of iterations and, moving to Australia, working in sales there, teaching English and science in China, coming back to New York, doing marketing, still none of these were what I wanted to do. So in my mid-20s, I ended up starting a consulting company, mainly for mobile app development. And we focused on travel and pharma companies. So we'll do like Gilead, Pfizer, JetBlue, and Cheapo Air. And I've been doing that for about five to 10 years, or closer to like 8 years. When my partner and I were walking around the neighborhood where we both grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and we had taken her a pet corgi. He was 1 year old at the time. His name is Larson. And we were walking around the block, and when we just took our eyes off him just for a second, he found the biggest, grossest, nastiest chicken bone you could find in Brooklyn at the time and just started chowing down on it. He ended up starting to choke, and that freaked us out a little bit. He ended up being fine and okay. He was like, "Oh my God, where can I get more chicken?" But it got us talking about our neighborhood and what we could do. And it also got us curious, like, is Brooklyn getting better or worse? Is the street where we grew up in Bay Ridge the same, dirtier, or cleaner? And when we tried to investigate and find more information just on data, like we didn't find much out there. And then when we tried to find things that we could do in our community, we also didn't find many options. So on that day, we founded Rubbish with the goal of creating clean, healthy, and sustainable neighborhoods with the goal of giving people the information about their community, but also an outlet to improve the community. And we, like any startup, we had a long journey and many iterations of who we were as a company. But But one of the things we focus on now is empowering groups like yours and local neighborhood groups to use software to make it easier to clean up the community, engage other local residents, and create these clean, healthy, and sustainable neighborhoods.
So how does rubbish work?
Yeah, so we have an ecosystem of products. So we serve everyone from volunteers to scientists to government organizations. So if you're a volunteer, you could download the Rubbish iOS app and start tracking your cleanups, sort of like a Nike Fitness Run Keeper, but for community cleanup and community help. So it will help you track where you went, what you cleaned up, how far you walked, and the time spent. The goal of that is to help log your progress, but also inspire others to join your team. Other services within the ecosystem are the Rubbish Dashboard. So used by large property managers like university stadiums or even government entities to allow people to report issues in their community so that it goes to your dashboard and is automatically routed to either your team members or routed externally. Sort of like a customizable, easy to use 311. And that could be used by a business improvement district, community benefit district, but also small organizations like community NGOs and community cleanup organizations are using these QR codes to allow people to report issues directly to them, and then they could log that they successfully cleaned them up.
So issues would be issues of litter, issues of things they're seeing in their neighborhood, or what are the sorts of things that somebody might report?
It's a customizable list. We focus a lot on litter and illegal dumping, but a lot of people set it up to be able to report graffiti, broken infrastructure, overflowing trash cans. So it's really a matter of whatever is important to that community can be reported through the dashboard and then routed appropriately for resolution.
So it helps neighbors help their local government to focus on problem areas.
Exactly.
I'm a bit of a Luddite. Using the word Luddite alone is an indication of my problem. So how would I use the app? What would a typical user experience be?
So one of the things that one of our philosophies with the app is just to make it as easy to use as possible. Anyone can pick it up. You don't have to be an expert. If you just want to track your cleanups, just download the app and you could get started right away. Press the little timer icon and it'll start recording your progress, and we'll start recording what you clean up and sharing that with your team. And if you have a team, you just have a scan a QR code and it'll automatically join you to that team. We believe that the technology should kind of get out of the way. The best technology is one that kind of disappears into the background. And a lot of our recent focus on AI, some of which we've collaborated with Keep America Beautiful, helps do that. So it helps you log that progress by either automatically categorizing issues in your community or allowing you to use your voice to make logs such as, hey, I picked up 2 bags of trash or 40 cigarettes, something like that.
Yeah, any conversation around technology today very quickly gets to the power of AI to support the effort. So you mentioned that AI is going to help me use the app, and I'm sure others, others in all sorts of different scenarios. Uh, what is it doing? It seems like a disconnect that AI and litter cleanup go hand in hand.
Well, it depends on your goal. I think a new feature that we just demoed at a Keep America Beautiful conference is the recycling AI. So what this allows you to do is take any object, whether it's a piece of litter that you pick up on the street while you're doing cleanups, or something in your home like a battery, or something in your office like a food container, and it just allows you to take a photo and the AI will automatically tell you the best way to dispose of it, whether it's trash, compost, recycling, specialty items like e-waste or hazardous waste. That's already available within the Rubbish app. If you select the how do I recycle button, it will answer that question for you easily. One of the things that we hope to do in the next 6 months is to also link people with resources of like, all right, I picked up this battery during a cleanup, but what do I do with it? Do I put it in the recycling bin or the trash bag? Well, we hope to link you to the closest hazmat or battery recycling facility or store for drop off. So that's one example. And if you're out there using the app to log your cleanups, you could ask quick questions of the rubbish app to help you address those concerns. Other things include stuff like, what do I do with a mattress? What do I do with paint cans? To help you, be clean up and be effective at it to make sure you're doing the right stuff once you've cleaned it up off the street.
Many of our listeners have met my mom, who, for the beginning of the Recycling Reality Check, was invited on to ask her questions about what do I recycle where. So maybe in my next trip to see her, we'll download the app and see how she does with the recycling sort, because I think it could be incredibly helpful for, just like you're saying, those folks who really want to do better at recycling, but find themselves at a loss, or they're on the road, or they're walking in their community. She's a big walker, and they come across something and help them know just a little bit more, have a little more information about what to do about those things.
You'll be actually surprised at how fun it is to use and how smart it can be because it takes into account where you are, but it also takes into account specific regulations or rules around recycling. So, for example, if you found a plastic food container, and you're asking, how do I do this? Like, how do I recycle this properly? If you take the photo with the app, it will tell you, oh, this recycling container is, or sorry, this plastic container is recyclable. But first, you're going to have to wash it out, or clean it up, or empty the food. So we'll give you specific additional context. Or if you have a cup, and it will be able to differentiate between the biodegradable straw, the plastic lid, and the compostable or non-compostable plastic. So it's really amazing what a lot of these AIs could do now. So instead of just giving you one answer of like, throw the whole thing in the trash, it could tell you, well, actually, this part is compostable, this part is recyclable, and this part is trash.
That also could be really helpful for those of us who need our glasses to see beyond the end of our nose, and find that those chasing arrows are often way too small to really figure out what the recycling number is inside any given triangle. So a photo might be a terrific option for those of us who can't quite tell.
Yeah, absolutely. It works on everything. So you don't need a specific QR code or package, or if the maybe the pack it's degraded or you can't find that logo, it'll just work, which is kind of amazing. Exciting news. So back in December, before the AI features were even live in the app, we collaborated with Keep America Beautiful in my backyard in Northern California. So Keep America Beautiful and Cascadia went out to do these litter surveys, as they do around California, for state regulations and federal data needs. And one of the things we were trying to explore is how can we make this process more efficient so we could cover more area and do more with the resources that we have. And we tested the AI to be able to do the identification within these surveys for us so we could cover more territory quicker. So what we would do is start the timer so it sees where we're going. And then as we see litter, we'll snap a photo of it and keep going down the road, snapping those photos. And in the background, the AI is processing what we snapped a photo of. Is it a mattress, a cigarette butt, a paint can, a tire? And we match that against a list of 30 things that Keep America Beautiful was interested in tracking. But that could be a list of 100, whatever. It will categorize it against that list. And at the end of a run, we got a map of all the things we reported and the identified items. For our first trial, out of the gate, we were already seeing 70% accuracy, or accuracy in the 70s over a variety of terrains, such as city, beach, and more forested and overgrown areas. So that's where we were in December. We've improved since then, and in the next couple of months, and by the end of the year, we hope to be in the 90+% accuracy. And that's going to be huge for things like doing these environmental surveys for maybe MS5 compliance or EPR regulations as well, to make sure that maybe the brands or products that we see out there the most we have better rules and systems in place to capture those items before they end up on the beach or on the street.
That's really interesting. So basically, that's the AI at work, sort of learning and getting better round by round at what it's seeing so that it can sort of help to improve those outcomes, percentage outcomes to get the data better.
Exactly. So it's the AI getting better, but it's also us getting better at adjusting the app and making sure it gets a good photo and it's an easy to do experience. So the acceleration rate of how good all this stuff is getting is quite impressive.
It would seem to me that it also might be really valuable to a, a local government, that you could provide them sort of a map of your route. And if there were large items that required municipal pickup, like they would have a geolocation of where those things were.
Exactly. So whatever a community is interested in, we could help them pre-configure the app, or they could do it themselves. And they don't need our help. It all works out of the box. And they could say, show me where all the tires are, the graffiti, the potholes, the overflowing trash cans, or just the recycling cans.
Yeah.
And those maps are generated quite easily. One of the things that we're really excited about that we hope to have out by the end of the year, and it looks like we will, is just even the ability to do this with video. So you could imagine, instead of me walking down the street or in a car taking these photos, that I just walk down the street and take a video or attach it to the front of my bike or the side of my car. And these videos are taken and it automatically extracts the location data, the photo of the illegal dump site or the pollution site, and generates a map of that automatically. And we could even take it to the next step of, if we see that illegal dumping and we know this organization takes care of it, such as the local sanitation department or waste hauler, we could trigger automatic signals to, hey, just so you know, this is where the illegal dumping is, and give them those notifications. So AI is really allowing us to streamline a lot of these processes, so we could focus on where we could add the most value, which is like covering more area to survey or cleaning up more neighborhoods. So it reduces a lot of that repeatable, mundane work that nobody really wants to be in the app, clicking these buttons. Like, let's move that to the back. We want the data and we want that experience, but we don't want to be, in our phones outside clicking buttons. So we're trying to make this as streamlined and fluid a process as possible.
It's so interesting. And on some level, it takes you all the way back to attaching it to the lead when you walk the dog, right? Like these activities where we are all out in the world really can help support the change that we all want to see.
And the easier it is, the more people can participate, and the faster we could reach our goals of cleaning up our beaches and parks and our own backyard.
That's great. Eamon, I know we want to make sure that people can find the app and start experiencing what's possible. I will work with you to make sure that but you can say it here, but we'll also make sure that it's in the notes for the podcast when folks download it. But tell folks what's the exact way they can go and find out how to jump in.
Sure. If you have an iOS phone or an Apple phone, you could download the app through the App Store. It's Rubbish, Love Where You Live. And if you don't, and if you have any other phone, you could go on our website, which is www.rubbish.love, and it'll link you to more information for our web portal. So our platform is accessible on mobile, native iOS mobile, as well as web. So any phone, in the past 10 years can run the web version of our app. And we're working on an Android experience as well, a native Android experience. So
wonderful. Eamon, thanks for bringing all of your experience and your passion to picking up litter and helping to keep America beautiful. Let's keep doing beautiful things. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you know that there are nearly 50 billion pieces of litter along U.S. roadways and waterways? According to the Keep America Beautiful 2020 National Litter Study, that equates to 152 items per person. Let's work together to change this statistic by joining the Great American Cleanup. You can visit kab.org to find out more about how you can be a part of this movement towards a cleaner future. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for Do Beautiful Things, as we'll be talking more about the Great American Cleanup in upcoming episodes. Thank you for being with us today. Until next time, take care, stay informed, and let's keep doing beautiful things together. See you in the next episode.